Shout out to KOP-ISH.
Shout out to KOP-ISH, guys.
Keep all the good work
the
up.
two legends, Emil Heskey, Howard Gill. Can't get much better than that, guys. Yeah. You know what to do now. Like, comment, subscribe. I'm with legends, guys.
KOP-ISH.
Yes, people, big up yourselves each and every time on this Friday evening, and welcome to a KOP-ISH / DRIFTY TV. I'm trying to do the dual filming. I'm doing a little experiment here to see how it runs. So if you're watching this on DRIFTY TV, it's not like what's happening here. It's dual. So if you're live on both, big up everyone. I got my boy Ram with me to discuss this. Not one of the most well-versed European knowledge-based football fans I know. So I thought, no, who better to bring on? What's going on, G?
I appreciate it, bro. Big up, man. I didn't know that we were in sync with the dress code, bro. Why are we both wearing black today?
I don't know, bro. Are we in mourning? I don't know, bro. All these injuries.
All these injuries, yeah. More or less mourning, man. More or less mourning.
Yeah. I mean, before we get into the Europa draw, I haven't spoken to you since we found out about the injuries that kept the players out of the Luton game. And obviously they are still an absolute 50-50 whether they're even going to be available for the cup game as well, bro, which, let's be honest, that Luton team playing Chelsea's a whole different kettle of fish. Without being disrespectful to Luton, Chelsea in a cup final with that exact team, if Salah and Núñez both aren't fit, it's a whole different ball game, bro. So how you feeling before we go into that game?
I don't know what to think of it, because I don't think we're outright favourites as we used to be. I think it's now become, instead of 80-20, it's now 60-40 or 55-35, 45. I think the injuries have been a real equaliser for us. And I'm a little bit nervous about the game. I can't lie. I want to win this trophy. I want us to get some confidence. And I'll tell you this, yeah, well, I'll get onto that point later. But for now, I looked at our bench against Luton, and it could be our potential game for Chelsea, against Chelsea on Sunday. We didn't field a single senior midfielder or attacker in our bench. Man, that's wild. Not a single senior midfielder was on our bench. Neither was there an attacker. That is crazy.
That is mad, isn't it? And then the other thing as well, bro. When you look at it in that way, big up Jamal as well. The calling show's been moved to next Friday, guys, due to availability from everyone. So I know you lot would have been waiting for that tonight. Apologies, but it will definitely be next Friday, guys, 100%. So don't worry about that. Big up Jamal. Yeah, I look at our squad members, Ram, and I think that they're very, very good young players, and I think they've impressed every single time they've played. It's just a lot of pressure now to keep putting on these young bucks when you think about, because McConnell definitely looks capable. Bobby Clark's looked good for a long time. It's not even just now that he's started to look good. Like, I really like Bobby Clark. I think he could be something special. And then obviously you've got Dan, who I didn't know anything about, but Dan looks like he's decent. You've obviously got what's his name? He's just coming back from his ligament injury. Gordon, he's just coming back from his knee ligament, but he was good before that. I think I heard Klopp saying that he was so ahead of his time that he almost forced him to kind of give him a chance during the quad chasing season. Do you remember he played some cup games, he even scored as well. And Klopp said he was playing so well that he had no choice but to bring him into the first team because he needed to be rewarded. So we've got real talented young players, bro. We do. But you think about the difference between a home game against Luton, especially that we were winning when they come on, and then maybe having to bring them on in an important part of a cup final at Wembley, and you're like, yeah, that's a whole different scenario, isn't it? Like,
it is. But the one thing I'll say, Drifty, and I think we should put more credit onto the academy. Our academy's bit has looked good for quite quite recently. Like you compare the talents that we had back when Jurgen Klopp first started, the likes of like Herbie Kane and no disrespect to like players like him and Adam Lewis, but the quality of players now is night and day, isn't it? Like, there's no disrespect to the likes of the Herbie Kane and them lot, but Connor Bradley, Jarrell Quansah, even people like McConnell and Bobby Clark, they're better overall players, and it's gonna be exciting to see how they develop. I know all of them won't hit the level, unfortunately. I wish all that they could hit that level, but there's certain players where you just know they will be at that level. I am looking at Bradley, I'm looking at Quansah. They're going to be there for quite a while. And you know what? It saves us going out and spending around about 70 odd million pounds for the next thing. You know what I mean? So I'm very happy, man. I think it deserves flowers as well. Just saying.
Yeah, 100%, man. And it's crazy because big up Matisse. We've got a preview I did with Matisse, Combined 11, coming out between now and tomorrow morning as well. So look out for that. That was a wicked film with Matisse. And I asked him, because I don't know how you feel, but looking at the fact that Colwill and Quansah are both 20 years old, I think in about 3 or 4 years' time, that's England's centre-back pairing already set up the way France have got Ibu and Saliba, bro. Like, if you really think about it.
Should we add Tomori to the mix as well?
I mean, you can if you. I mean, no, but Tomori's a little bit older though, right? He's about 24 now already.
I think he's 23, 24 now.
Yeah,
but still, I mean,
he's quite a bit older. But no, you're right.
He's 26. Sorry, he's 26.
Oh right, he's older.
Never mind.
40.
Whoa, damn.
But I mean, you look at those two. Yeah, he's a shout as well, Ali, for real. Like, you think to yourself, in a few years' time with the right England manager, that's some top defensive talent where we've been really lacking in defense recently in England. But that's some real talent. And the thing is, Colwill's left-footed, right-footed. Like, it's the perfect combination, bro.
What we say in the next Terry Ferdinand partnership for England? Hopefully, they actually win some stuff as well. Bro. You know what I mean?
Who knows? Maybe both will play for Liverpool if we get our cards right.
And I tell you, at their ages, they're both just as technically good as those two players, which is a big plus. A big plus. Because the thing is about Ibu and Saliba, I wouldn't say technically, I think more for Ibu than it is for Saliba. I wouldn't say Ibu has the range of passing that Quansah could have, or the range of passing Levi Colwill could have. But that don't mean he's a crap passer himself. But I think those two players, they could do a little something with the ball at their feet, which is just an added bonus, man. It really is.
Definitely. And on that note, talking about the youngsters, they're bringing none other than man like Jamie in the building. What's going on, bro?
Yeah, calling the youngsters nice, so I'm good now. We're best friends now, Drifters.
I know. It took me a little while to realize how good our academy is, but I'm there now. You know what I mean? Yeah, we before we get into the draw, which is what we're really here for. Obviously, you and me spoke before the Luton game, and we were a little bit apprehensive, but our youngsters definitely did us proud in that game. Oh. But do you feel a little bit different about having to use those youngsters in the cup final, though? Totally different occasion now.
Yeah, it's a totally different. It's a one-off game, ain't it? But Connor Bradley got no problem in playing. I really haven't. I ain't got a problem. But if Connor Bradley's got to play right back, perfectly fine with it. Quansah don't really worry me that much. As we said the other day, he makes mistakes sometimes because he's still a young man, so learning the game. But it doesn't really worry me so much playing him. I mean, Chelsea will probably play Colwill. Is there much difference between Quansah and Colwill? Don't know. No, I think there is.
No, really?
I think McConnell's and Clark's and all that. I think Clark's the next one. I think Bobby Clark might be the next one that comes through and emerges because they're saying about him.
He's cold, isn't it? Bobby Clark is cold. I really like him, man. I can already see that he's got that it about him. Do you know what I mean? Yeah. So I agree, man. I agree. Obviously, way too early now. I mean, you even think about the fact that McConnell got an assist in his first senior appearance. Like, have the balls to play that pass that he did to get the assist for that goal. It wasn't even like it was a 2-yard pass. It was like 30-yard chip long ball kind of. Do you know what I mean? So
Yeah,
yeah, man.
McConnell gives me James Milner vibes.
Okay, that's
He
a
looks
big
like
shout to fill those boots.
he looks like a young Milner, man. He looks like a young Milner.
I think he's helping Bobby Clark that his dad was a good professional as well, because we can't underestimate that those things do help when you're coming through. You get the advice, you've been in and around the environment most likely as a youngster, so you get a little bit more used to what it's like. Do you get what I mean? To be in and around that environment, so that will probably help Clark as well. Before we get into the Europa, it's crazy. I can't remember who it is now. Apologies, I should have started the comment. Somebody mentioned how much our academy is probably worth now. If you're actually thinking about like the player values and other teams that would buy our players, is there any fear from you lot that FSG are the type of owners that will try and do the maximum profit? And like if a 40 mil for Bobby Clark or 60 mil for Bradley bid came in, that they'd be like maximum profit. Let's just do it kind of thing.
No, for me, the academy is what the owners want because it's players that can come into your team without having to spend money in certain areas. I think I literally think that's what they want, and I've got to give credit to the club in all. I think the academy's really kicked on since we built AXA. And they're all training together, eating together, working out together, and the kids, the youngsters can talk to the more seasoned pros, and they're there. They can watch them. Conor Bradley can watch Trent every single day training, learning. They're not at two separate places no more, and I think that's helped massively. So I can only give props to the club for doing that. Putting them all together. But yeah, I think this is what they've wanted. Sustainability. Going through your youth. Some teams use their youth team as a farm, like Chelsea. That's what it's there for. That's how they kept going. But I think if you look at Liverpool, Conor Bradley's going to save you 40 or 50 million for a new right back. Kwanzaa's going to save you like 40 million to today's market for a new centre back. And I think that's what it's there for. And if they're good enough, they can get into this squad. If you've got one of the most elite managers in world football, in Jurgen Klopp, that trusts these guys, that must tell you how talented they are. They ain't going to just put them in because they're youth. You know what I mean? Curtis Jones has come through there. Trent's come through now. Elliot, who's more of a Fulham youth probably, but he still came as a young man, and his game's improved. He's played 100 appearances for Liverpool. Do you know how mad that is at his age? Mad. And now you got Conor Bradley and Clark and Kwanzaa. Who knew Kwanzaa? Now we know Kwanzaa a little bit, and then he comes in this season. And he's just like, wow, where have you been? How was you playing for Joey Barton last season? This makes no sense.
Yeah, it's crazy.
Yeah,
I mean, we forget we've even got Tyler Morton boiling out on loan as well.
Tyler Morton, yeah, he's doing bits as well. He's looking good as well. So, yeah, I think it's great. I think that's what the ownership at this football club have been wanting: sustainability, get youth players coming through that are good enough to improve the squad. Saves you money in certain areas. Then it saves like Liverpool ain't got to worry about buying another right back now, and go and look, go in the market and spend that money elsewhere. I think it benefits Liverpool, no doubt.
Ram, what do you think? Do you think that 300 million would be very tasty to the buy to sell owners, or do you think they'll take the opportunity to keep them because they are so
Drifty? You already know the answer to this, Drifty, man. How long have we known these owners for, man? How long? 300 million saved, and you hear FSG. Yo, LeBron. You know what I mean? 300 M's. You could get Mbappe for that money. Sorry. I didn't mean to mention his name, but you can get these kind of players for that kind of money. So 300 million pounds. We don't need to do what Chelsea did and spend bucket loads of money on players. We can actually keep it from within. And the fact is, we don't have to rely on players getting used to the system because they're already part of the system. You know what I mean? So I'm comfy. The owners will be comfy. Owners will be actually very, very comfy. And most importantly, there won't be much change because they already know what the system's all about and they already know what this club's all about. So everyone's going to be very happy about it, especially the owners. He can buy a new yacht now, as Connor said right there. 300 million saved, he can buy Linda a new yacht. So there it is.
Yeah, it's good, man. It's good. You're right, and it's been a long time since the days of McManaman and Fowler and Redknapp and all the young, brilliant, players who came through the academy and stuff. Obviously, Owen a bit later and that. So yeah, man, it's good. It's good to see, and I really hope that Dan's is actually the player he looks like he could be as well. Because as Callum pointed out the other day, it's kind of crazy that we were renowned for our forwards, but we haven't produced a forward from the academy for years. It's kind of strange, isn't it, considering the caliber of the forwards that we used to have through the academy. So hopefully Dan's can be the next one, man. It'll be good, man.
Yeah, we're kind of missing on some forwards now. I mean, I'm happy with getting us to some defenders, but I would like to see some forwards coming to the football club now. I'm getting a little bit bored of seeing new players, new forwards coming in. I want to see some good youngsters come through in the forward line.
Yeah, man. Yeah, I really hope Dan's has got it in him. I do. Right. We're here to talk about the Europa League. Big up to everyone who watched it. I wanted to be able to go live for that, but unfortunately I wasn't able to. But here we are. So the draw for the Europa League is as it stands, people. If you didn't already know, we've got Sparta Prague. They're from Czech, right, guys? If I'm not mistaken.
Yeah, they are the Czech Republic.
Yeah.
Czechia. Sorry.
Yeah, so we'll be going over to the Czech Republic for that game. A real tasty game between Marseille and Villarreal. Real tasty game that is.
Yeah. Absolutely, I think so.
Another tasty game, Roma versus Brighton. That's a tasty game in the Europa League. Benfica versus Rangers. I don't know how well Rangers will be able to cope with a kind of powerhouse of Europe like Benfica, but you never know. You never know. Freiburg and West Ham, I think that'll be very interesting as well, especially after watching Freiburg in qualification. So I think that one could be real tasty. Sporting versus Atlanta, that's another tasty one, to be honest. There's quite a lot. Like, to be fair, other than Bayer Leverkusen, who've got Karabakh, and AC Milan, who've got Slavia, I think all of the games are kind of good, guys. I don't know. What do you lot think?
Yeah, some tasty games there. I think Roma and Brighton could be the sleeper of the round. That could be the most entertaining game. Rangers go get packed in.
I wouldn't say so, Jamie. I wouldn't say so just yet.
Can't be doing with him. West Ham Freiburg, ain't that a rematch from the? They playing the Europa.
I think it might be one of the only ways to get them into the draw. Based on the whole country and all that stuff.
Yeah. All I'm doing is looking at that. I've already booked my plane ticket for Dublin. That is, that's just
barring Leverkusen, I am not concerned at all about any team.
I'm not even concerned about Leverkusen either, to be fair.
Oh no, Jamie!
I'm not concerned.
No. I am still a little bit concerned about them. I think they just play
They don't play anyone with high tempo in Germany. They don't play anyone.
But they play a very stylistically. Their style of football is very, very, very annoying for us Liverpool fans. As in, like, for Liverpool, if we play against them, their style of play could eat us alive. That's why I'm a little bit worried. I'm not worried about the players, kind of say. Maybe a couple of players like Florian Wirtz or Grimaldo. But when it comes to the style of play, I'm a little bit more worried. You know what I mean?
I'm with you, Ram. I don't think that we should be scared of them, obviously. But I agree with you that out of all of those teams, I definitely think Leverkusen. I mean, Marseille are playing really well under Gattuso. I think, Marseille are definitely a threat. They've got a brilliant atmosphere as well when you've got to play the away leg at their ground as well.
Oh, yeah.
I don't know. Here's the thing. What Roma do you think this is now in terms of, like, obviously with them just losing Jose, like, would you consider Roma a threat? I know historically they are, but obviously recently.
Dead, man. I watched their game the other day and yesterday, and it was just, they've got no pace, they've got no penetration. Pause. There's nothing I look about them that's a threat. Literally, I think. Look, personally, I think the final is going to be AC Milan Liverpool. That's what I think the
Okay.
final will be in Dublin. And that'll be
That'll
better
be
in the
a
Champions League final. That'll be better in the Champions League final. Guarantee you right now.
What for entertainment?
I reckon unless Real Madrid gets to the Champions League final, I reckon Liverpool will attract more attention in the Europa League final if they get there than the Champions League final.
Interesting.
Because that's dead. The competition's dead. This Europa League actually has more exciting, more exciting rounds in it, more exciting games in it, in my opinion, that could go either way. In a lot of these games, very close, very tight. But yeah, that Champions League right now is dead, which really pees me off because we could have probably won it this year if it's in it, because it is so bad. You watch Europe, but you super tasty next year when we're back in it again.
Yeah,
that's the problem.
No, it's true, isn't it? It's actually true.
Drifty, I said this on the terrace a couple of times. I think this season Europa League is much more exciting than it is the Euro Champions League. I think the Europa League is a lot more exciting. I think you've got the best team in Liverpool. Sorry, the best team in England. You got the best team in Portugal, and you got the best team in Germany. The only teams that aren't there is probably the best team in Spain and the best team in Italy, in Inter Milan and Real. So the levels of the teams in the Europa League are very much of a good level. It was a bit like the Europa. I think Jamie could attest to this a lot more than the both of us. Sorry, Jamie. There was a little bit of a dig there. It was the Europa League back in the day, because the Europa League back in the day was where all the teams that were building themselves up were in the Europa League, and then they came to the Champions League and they won the Champions League after that. So it's a bit like the same this time.
I've always said it. I know people will say that I'm moving the goalposts from my all-time GOAT, but I've always said it's such a shame that Ronaldo never won the Champions League, because it's the only thing he needed. But he won the UEFA Cup, and when he won the UEFA Cup, it was a better competition than the Champions League was, in my opinion.
Yeah, it's serious.
Yeah, because as you said, you got the second and fourth best teams in all of the leagues, and it was only the winner of the league that went into the Champions League. So all the other good teams were in the UEFA Cup. It was definitely the more prosperous. Why do you think they did what they did with the Champions League? They expanded it because they realized it was a pretty crap tournament, considering it was all the people who'd won their league. It was like, this isn't working. The UEFA Cup's actually better. So that's why they reformatted it and stole all the teams from the UEFA Cup. So back in the day, the UEFA Cup was definitely a really, really prestigious competition. Let's not forget, even the Cup Winners' Cup had some prestige to it back in the day. No one really ever looked down on the Cup Winners' Cup back in the day.
The Super Cup used to be the European champions, and the Cup Winners' Cup winners. That used to be the Super Cup game, not the UEFA Cup winners. But yeah, I used to love it back then. European Cup, UEFA Cup, Cup Winners' Cup. You just knew where you were in Europe, And that UEFA Cup back in the day, it was knockouts from round one. No group. No, it was knockouts from round one. And there were so many good teams, because you think how many good teams there are in European leagues that might not have won their league that year, all playing UEFA Cup. Some blinding teams that. I remember, I think it was 95. It might have been the Bayern Munich. Is it the Bayern Munich Inter Milan final with Jurgen Klinsmann? I mean, that's mad. And that was two legs as well, the final, for some reason. I don't know why. But yeah.
Am I bugging? But was the 98 UEFA Cup, was that the one where Ronaldo won it, or was it the one where Bayern won it? Or was it 97?
It might be 97 when I'm thinking of, so it might be 98.
It must have been when Ronaldo won it. Because no.
Parma Marseille.
Ronaldo went to Inter Milan in 98, didn't he? He was at Barcelona in 98, was he not? And then he moved that summer after the World Cup, I think.
Yeah, it was
96 was Bayern.
Yeah, 98 was Parma and Marseille.
And 96 was Bayern.
97. Okay. Yeah, I mean, do you guys genuinely believe this is the competition that we should be 100% going all out in. You know, we obviously spoke the other day, Jamie, about what do we prioritize with the injuries and the squad being so bare and all that kind of stuff. Do we Premier League will always probably remain the main priority? Do we still prioritize the Europa League, as in we go ham, full team every time we play?
Yeah.
I wouldn't say full team. Oh, sorry, Jamie, you go ahead.
No, I was just saying with the Premier League, I think Klopp's got to look at the Premier League. Look, we've got to all remember this is his last go. So I think he's going to prioritise the Premier League over everything. But I think that draw we got today, because the game's in March, with the players we got available, I think really helps us. I think that draw is very favourable to us, especially with the injuries. And I think we can pretty much coast through that game with the players we've got available right now, which benefits us more when we get to the quarterfinals and semi-finals, when we've got a lot of our players back in strong positions. You know, it's the FA Cup I look at, really, the Southampton game. You know, I look at that and I think if there's a game Klopp can sort of like knock on the head, and I think it'll be that game. I even if it's at home against Southampton, I think Klopp will put out a very young team in that game, making sure his players are available for the Premier League games coming up, which he's going to put prior to, especially if we win the League Cup Sunday. If we win the League Cup Sunday, I can see him, you know, Europe and Premier League and the FA Cup, just that. He won't want to lose the game, but that's where I think you'll see most of the rotation in that Southampton game, get everyone fresh. And then the Premier League, I think he knows his team now, especially for the next few weeks. That'll probably play most of the time, and it'll just go straight.
No, I agree. The crazy thing is, you said what I was going to say as well. I think if we win the game against what's his name on Chelsea on Sunday, and we do win the Europa League, I kind of do feel the FA Cup game.
It's a good season.
The FA Cup game doesn't. I'm not going to say it doesn't matter because I want to win all the trophies. Trust me, I do. Like, I'm not saying this being like blasé about it, but because that's already a trophy in the bag, I think that FA Cup game becomes crazy rotation. Like, Klopp almost is like, look, if I lose, I lose, kind of thing. Not that he wants to, but he's like, look, if I lose, I lose, because we've got a trophy in the bag already, and I have to prioritize with this small squad. So, yeah, that's what I think will happen if we.
Drift, I've got to run, but I'll catch you up again soon.
No problem.
Big up, Jay.
Liverpool go win Sunday. They're going to take Man City all the way, and they go win Europa League. So peace out, guys. Enjoy.
Yeah, big up, Jay.
Big up.
Enjoy your weekend.
Big up. Cheers, man. I will say, Drift. Yeah. I think it's gonna. If we do end up winning the League Cup, I think it's the last thing Arsenal and City need. Because if we win the League Cup, the confidence it brings to this Liverpool team, the fact that we're desolate, our team is desolate, bare bones, and we end up winning a trophy, the self-belief and the confidence in this team is just gonna go through the roof. And I think that's the last thing the likes of Arsenal and City need. Especially the fact that we're leading the race as well. We're not even behind. We're leading it. So that's, I think, if we win the Europa, you know, maybe Cal might be onto something when he does this, man. You know what I mean?
See, I look at what Klopp said after we tried to win all four, yeah? And as much as it would have been an amazing thing if we'd have pulled it off, if you see the way Klopp talks about how it was too much pressure on the team, I think he's going to smarten up to that maybe and think, why put my team through that again? It could jeopardize one of the big trophies. And again, like I said, I would love to win all four trophies. But I'm not going to lie, bro. If we win the League Cup, I don't care enough about the quad because I want the main trophy, which is the Premier League. And even though it would be an absolute sensation to win all four trophies, as long as we win the Prem, I don't really care, bro, if I'm being honest. That I don't like. It's a beautiful bonus that you get to gloat about, but I don't care about gloating. I care about what looks better in terms of the reality. And the reality is with this squad, you try and win the one that you want the most. So I wouldn't bin it off, but I'm gonna be real, bro. If we win the League Cup on Sunday, that Southampton game, McConnell's starting, Clark is
Oh
starting.
yeah. I'm doing that.
Starting.
No, but
You know
Drift,
what I mean?
I'm doing that, but I still think we win. I have faith in these young
Southampton are
players
playing
that
well
they
at
can
the
do it
moment,
against.
though.
Huh? I know, but I have
Southampton are good,
faith.
though, you know?
I know. I think they're like third or second in the championship, but I have faith in these young players against these teams, against the likes of your Leicesters or your Southamptons, because I think these young players are really up for it. They would want to stake their claim. They want to be a part of this, so hopefully impressive season this season. But I don't want us to bin it off. You know, I want us to lose if we didn't bin it off. We tried our best, but it just didn't happen on the day. If their goalkeeper turns into prime man or Neuer, then I'll be like, okay, cool. Because winning breeds winning. Once you get a hold of that drug, it is very hard to let go of it. And that will go into that team, and they will keep going and going and wanting more and more and more and more.
Yeah. And I can see a lot of people saying, lads, we can't bin off trophies because what happens, you know, if we mess up in one of them, and then like I get it. But the thing is, I'm not trying to pick and choose. I'm not trying to pick and choose a trophy here. I'm not doing that cherry picking thing. I'm not doing the bigger fish to fry thing, whatever. But guys, we have to understand, especially the good point that Ram just made. If we win the what do you call it game, the Chelsea game, and then we go into that Southampton game, and we've got like all of our players available, then we're all good. But we don't have all our players available. So if I was sitting here, Ram, yeah, and Szoboszlai had been banging in goals and was completely fine and had been here for the last 2 months, Trent's knee was completely fine and he'd been, you know, given the dilemma of does he play midfield or not. Jones didn't get that injury the other day. Jota didn't get that injury the other day. Nunes played that full game, got another goal, didn't come off, he was fine. Salah hadn't got injured. If we were sitting there with all of that, Ali was in goal, we could pick and choose what goal we want. If that scenario was there, I'll be sitting there now telling you, bro, we go ham in every competition and we just mash up this whole place. But all of those players I just named are missing. And do you know how scary it is to know all of those players are just missing? Because everybody I named is a first 11 player, bro. Barring whether you play Nunes or Jota as your forward, they're all first players. All of them are first team players. Jones is a first team player. Szoboszlai is a first team player. Salah's a first team player. Nunes is a first team player. Jota's a first team player. Alisson's a first team player. So I'm not naming squad. Trent is a first team. I'm not naming squad players. I'm naming the people who should be playing in the main games for the first 11, bro. So we've already got them all missing. So essentially, the team we're playing now is the B team. So if you're playing the B team week in, week out, at what point do you realize you got to play the C team? Because you're running that, you're gonna run the B team into the ground, bro. It's not been enough competitions, guys. It's common sense. It's being smart. It's being smart.
I hear it. I do hear
and
it.
listen, it's not excuses. The thing is, if anybody thinks what I'm saying is an excuse, you're not using your brain. I'm sorry, you're not using your brain. It's not an excuse. We're talking about real life situations here. We're talking about reality. Winning all the trophies and not realizing what the situation is childish. I just want to win everything. I don't care. I want to win everything. That's childish. Like, you know what I mean? It doesn't make any sense. We've got to look at this realistically. We had a game against Luton on Wednesday. We got cup final on Sunday. Then we got another game against Southampton on Wednesday again. And we're going to rinse the same 12 players for 3 games in a row. Come on. And you know, there's a game at the weekend after that FA Cup. Like, do you know what I mean? We're not just talking about little silly, and it's Man City, people. Like, you know what I mean? It's you know, Alex, it's not a computer game. This is real life. We have to be serious. We have to be. Now, if we don't beat Chelsea in the League Cup final, God forbid, I can slightly understand a lot more maybe wanting to go strong in the FA Cup because we've already lost out on one trophy there. And then you start looking at it like, now we've only got 3 more trophies left to try and get, and we haven't got one. So I'd understand that, but still, it's a lot of stress on the squad. And that Man City game is round the corner, which begs me to ask this next question, Ram. If Nunes or Salah are fit, at the risk of them only just passing the fitness test the day before, knowing we've got City coming up soon, do you actually play Salah and Nunes in this cup final, bro?
Oh, I don't know, Drift. I wish you didn't ask me that question, Drift. I'm just going to pretend that they're fit. I'm not going to answer. I plead the fifth. I plead the fifth, Drift. I plead the fifth. I know you wanted me to. I don't know. I really don't know. The thing is, I saw that we can break teams down. We can play well without them. But it's a final and you want your big players to come on. But I'm thinking of whether having both of them on the bench. And if it doesn't work, bring them on. I really don't know. I think I'll put both of them on the bench. I would not risk playing them because if we're winning, nah. If we're winning, then we don't need to bring them on. And if we're winning comfortably, we don't need to bring them on. We're winning like 2-0. But if we are struggling to break Chelsea down and it's a lack of quality on the pitch, then bring him on. Then bring them on. But I'll say this. The most important player on that pitch on Sunday is not going to be the attackers and it's not going to be the defenders. It's going to sound really wild. If Gravenberch has a great game, I think we win the league. I think we win the League Cup. I think he's going to be integral to that game because it's a big pitch. The one thing I rate about Gravenberch, his ball carrying is second to none. He can glide past players and he's very hard to get the ball off once he gets going. This is Wembley. Wembley is a massive pitch. He will have a lot of space to run, especially when it comes to that midfield. And he has the capacity to jinx past the likes of Caicedo and Enzo Fernandez. If he gets going and if he turns up, it's going to be a long day for the both of them. He's going to be important for that game, in my opinion.
H on this super says Premier League and the Cup treble, and I'm happy. L on Sunday, then the Prem is a must. Yeah, I mean, let's hope that we don't get a. I mean, if you said to me right now, which one you can only win 3 out of the 4, you can't get the quadruple, you can only get a treble. What one are you taking? Then it probably would be the FA Cup, the Europa League, and the Premier League, like we did in 01. But if we win the League Cup on Sunday, begging obviously, you know, that we do, then I would take League Cup, Europa League, and Premier League, and if we didn't win the FA Cup, I wouldn't really be that bothered. You know what I mean? I think as long as we get the Premier League, I don't even really think I'm going to be that bothered about the other ones, regardless.
That's if we have beatable. If we don't have beatable teams, if we have beatable teams, I still think we should go far. So if we get the same level as Southampton and Norwich, then yeah.
So like say we beat Southampton and then in the next round we got like Burnley or something.
We get Maidstone.
Like that. Who do we get, sorry?
We get Maidstone United.
Oh, as the draw rule have been done?
No, as if we get Maidstone United.
You're saying if that was what happened.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. Yeah. No, then you've got to beat them, innit? You have to go beat them.
Absolutely.
But yeah, so people, we've got Prague, and let's hope that we can go as far in this competition as possible, man. As we said before, Leverkusen do look like the one team to be scared of, / can cause us a lot of problems.
They're drawing now, though.
Yeah, I saw a couple of people just say they just scored. Were they losing?
They were no. Leverkusen were 1-0 up. I think Xhaka scored a pretty good goal. But Mainz have equalized, but still 1-1 from my side. Oh, they're winning now apparently. Yeah, my thing's just caught up. They're winning. Yeah.
Oh, okay. Yeah, there
Cool.
you go. They're 8 points clear at the moment. Have they played the same amount of games as Bayern?
Nah, I think one more game more than them.
They played one more. Okay, so technically they're 5 ahead, but they're 8 because Bayern's got that game in hand, basically.
Yeah. What, 9 ahead? 9 ahead now. So they're 4 points ahead of him. Yeah. Sorry.
I would
Yeah.
I'd probably say Bayern will give up on the league if Leverkusen are still winning by that same points difference with like 4 or 5 games to go. I think Bayern would just be like, fucking, we can't do it. They're not going to lose 3 games in the last 5 or and at that point, if we was to play Leverkusen in like the later stage of the Europa League, would it help if they'd already had the league wrapped up, or would it be better if they were still concentrating on it? Because they're still concentrating on it. They might rest some people for the Europa League. You never know. If they got the league wrapped up, then maybe they would. Because it's like you would want to almost play Leverkusen now than later, just in case they do have the league wrapped up. Because if they have the league wrapped up, they can go ham in the Europa League. You get what I mean? Whereas if you play Leverkusen now while they're still fighting for the league, they might not take it serious. Alonso might look at it and be like, look, I'd love to win all of these cups. Of course I would. But I'm about to make the most history of all history. If I win the Bundesliga, I have to prioritize that and not risk Verts and these type of players in the Europa League. Do you get what I'm saying? You never know where Alonso's going to go with it. Do you know what I mean? And what his thinking will be. Because they don't have a squad to be able to just try and win everything. Do you know what I mean? Like their squad's not big enough to be like, yeah, let's just go ham on all fronts and try, because they're still in the League Cup as well, right?
Yeah, they're in the Pokal still.
Oh, they are. Yeah, they are still in it, aren't they?
They're still in it. Yeah, they're unbeaten in all comps. Like literally in every single comp, they're unbeaten. They have not been beaten by anybody this season. Shows how good Alonso's doing, man. Yeah, only team in Europe. No one has beaten them at all.
Chemistry, don't
give me short, man. Alonso's the truth, man. I'm saying, man. He's doing good. You know
he is. Chemistry, what you got to do is, if you're going to make a deal like that with the missus, you got to do the thing where it's like, okay, babe, you give me a gift if Liverpool lose, but if Liverpool win, then I don't deserve a gift. And then what happens is you're so happy with the win, you're not fussed you didn't get the gift.
Yeah, exactly.
You get something to cheer you up. You know what I mean?
Like... he knows. Drifty knows.
You know what I mean? You got to play it.
I mean, chemistry. You can still try for both, innit? Like a celebratory present. You know what I mean?
Yeah, you know, but you know.
You just win if you lose, win if you win. You know what I mean? Just do both. Just do.
You know what I mean? But yeah, big up Ramazul for jumping on, bro. Big up everyone who's been jumping into this one as well. No, it was a spontaneous one, so big up everyone who jumped in live. And yeah, we're in the last 16 of the Europa League. The draw is very favourable. Just again, in case there's anyone new, I'll just bring up what the draw is again for people quickly before I go. So Liverpool have Sparta Prague, Marseille Villarreal, Roma Brighton, Benfica Rangers, Freiburg versus West Ham, Sporting versus Atalanta, AC Milan versus Slavia, and Karabag versus Leverkusen. Some real tasty games in there, man. Real tasty games. Absolutely. And it will be I think the quarterfinal is going to be Liverpool, Marseille, Brighton, Benfica, West Ham, Sporting, AC, Leverkusen.
Yep, I would have agreed.
And that is a real tasty quarterfinal, bro, if that comes true.
Yeah, I think the closest game for me would be Benfica Rangers. That's it, I think. And probably Roma and Brighton. I think everything else
might give West Ham a run for their money.
Yeah, it could be. I mean, West Ham aren't playing well at the moment.
And you know what else is crazy, bro? This competition has all Liverpool's potential managers in it.
Yeah, Alonso, Amorim, Zerbi.
Literally, every manager who will probably be Liverpool's next manager is all in this competition, bro.
Yeah,
crazy, isn't it?
Absolutely.
We'll have to,
Europa Watch, Drifty, man, on your channel, Europa Watch. You know what I mean?
yeah, real talk, man. Real talk. It's gonna be very interesting. I'm definitely gonna be doing that. Definitely.
100%.
But I think all the games might be on the same day, which could be tricky because we'll be doing the like I think they are, aren't they? Don't all the Europa League
they
games
are.
play on the same day?
But if you're free at 5:45, then maybe.
Oh
if-
yeah, definitely.
You know what I mean? Yeah.
Yeah, man. No, definitely. Yeah, we're gonna make it happen. We're definitely gonna make it happen. But people, again, love as always. Make sure you smash the like button, subscribe if you're new. Let them know where they can find you before we go, bro.
You can find me on the terrace. Terrace is where I'll be doing my thing. I'll try and post out some content from the Ram stand. Just been very, very busy. I might just drop into Drifty's channel from here and there whenever I'm free. Make sure you subscribe to Drifty TV. And yeah, make sure you like, comment, subscribe, and hopefully we beat Chelsea on Sunday.
Yeah, man. But yeah, Leverkusen are 11 points clear with a game in hand. They are flying.
Yeah, 11. Sorry, not 9.
Yeah, they are absolutely flying. Yeah, so no, you know what? If we're the 8 o'clock game or we're the 5:45 game, either way, for real, I'll be doing a watch along on the other games. You've got to keep an eye on the Ops rival watch. Yeah, man, it's gonna be fun. And I don't.
Are you gonna be doing one for Arsenal?
I don't know, bro. Every time I do a watch along for the Ops, they win like 5-0.
I forgot about that. I forgot about
You know
that.
what I mean, bro? It's like, I don't know, bro. I don't know. I don't really know if I want to give Arsenal my judge and let them batter Porto in the second round. You know, before we go quickly, actually, how do you feel about that? Do you think Arsenal being in the competition helps them to be tired and more fatigued, so you want them to go far? Or is it like, I don't want them to win it, so no, just let them go out as soon as possible?
For me, Drifty, damned if you do, damned if you don't. If they stay in, then they're going to be tired. If they don't, then the mentality might drop. So damned if you do, damned if you don't. Arsenal can go suck themselves.
It's almost like I wish you could guarantee me they lose in the semi-final. So they go all the way, they burn out all the energy, but then they definitely go out.
Yeah. Oh, that would be sweet. That would be so sweet. And Real Madrid beat them. Real Madrid beats them in the semi-final. Oh, that would be so sweet. Oh my god. But
you know what? I still think that Arsenal, I know people are going to laugh at me for saying this because they just lost 1-0 to Porto. They're going to smack them in the second leg. I think Arsenal is still the second or third favourites for the tournament. I think it's Man City and then Real Madrid based on heritage, but they do have quite a lot of injuries at the moment. And then
Juventus
after
had
that,
the same fault. Juventus said the same thing in 2021, bearing in mind. And look what happened then.
I hear you. But I mean, do you realistically think other than Real Madrid and Man City, there's a better team in the Champions League than Arsenal at the moment?
In terms of individual quality, no. I wouldn't say so. However, I think there are teams in the Champions League that might cause them a problem in 2 games. If it's like a couple of games where they can do a number on them, I think they can. Like, I know they didn't play. I know they've not been great this season. I'm slightly looking at Barcelona a little bit because some of them players like Champions League football. That will be my outside bet. I wouldn't throw Barcelona out just yet.
Barca do look all right, don't they? To be fair, they do actually look all right.
But I think the 3 teams that can knock them out is Inter, Real, and Man City. I think people also sleeping on Inter Milan as well.
Yeah, I mean, Arnautovic playing up front was a throwback the other day.
It was such a throwback.
Fucking hell, it was a throwback. The maddest thing is, though, I don't really know who I wanted to win the game, so I was happy for Arnautovic. But in the back of my mind, I was like, do I want Inter to win this game? I don't actually know if I want Inter to win the game. Like,
Yeah.
so, yeah. I don't know.
Yeah. 100%.
But yeah, people, again, big up yourselves. The predictions and all that stuff for the cup game will be Cal and Matt did one yesterday, guys. So hopefully you've already watched it. If you haven't, go and watch the preview. And then tomorrow morning, I have a preview with myself and Matisse that'll be coming out. So obviously, I don't want to spoil it for you guys what I think the game prediction will be, because it'll be part of the preview as well. So yeah, again, people, make sure you go and subscribe to Ram. You'll be definitely seeing him on my channel as well. And yeah, man, we keep it pushing. Europa League draw, cup final on Sunday. Boy, at the moment we're holding on, but we're still holding on. You know what I mean? By a thread, but we're holding on, man. People, we'll see you on Sunday. Peace.